That was the name of the song. All I do is win. Ah, thank you to this wonderful, wonderful group for joining us today. I'm going to pass this over to Mario, who is an amazing member of our team, and he will kick us off today. My name is Gabby, by the way, but I'm going to pass it over to Mario.
All right. Thanks, Gabby. Well, that was fun. It's a great start at 7 p.m. in the evening. So here's the purpose of this call, why we're doing what we're doing. I'm going to kind of give you a rundown so you get a good idea. And then at the end, we'll leave it up to you to decide and make the decision. So just quickly with myself, I joined Hina Khan's group team in August of last year. And I looked for a couple things before I joined the team. I don't know. I know I've talked to some of yous here, but I came from the Bob Proctor days and was mentored by Bob Proctor for 13 years. And there were some very specific things that I was looking for before I joined the team. And I'm going to read four values that are really are important to me today, and they were at the time that I was looking to join this team. And it was someone who was genuine, someone who was authentic, someone who was real, which means they actually live the material, and someone who was raw and transparent. And Hina Khan checked off all of those boxes. And I didn't know the team at that point, and they all do as well. Okay. But Hina Khan actually checked off all of those points for me. So it's very, very important that you are connected to a community that resonates with your values too, right? And I'm sure that we'll talk a little bit about that. And so tonight we're going to talk to you about the rise. Some of you were on our 3-day open house last week, which was absolutely phenomenal, and they experienced that. Some of you here may be clients of ours, and you're awesome as well. But I wanted to kind of give you an idea of why we created the rise. And we used to, Hina, I think it was like 4 years ago that Hina created morning study calls based on pandemic and continued those on. And she's got a story all about that. But we kind of looked at what was going on, and people were asking for just the morning study calls on their own without connected to a program. And Hannah kept denying it. No, that's not the time. No, no. And she just, I could bend her, honestly. And at one point in 2024, she made the decision to say, okay, you know what? Let's entertain the idea. But one of the quotes that I really truly live by and kind of created this framework, and I'm going to read it to you word for word. It was by a gentleman by the name of Buckminster Fuller. And he said, "You never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete." And so this is twofold. We changed our model because the existing model, even though it was effective, we're always looking to how can we make it better? How can we serve our client better? And then the model itself requires the client to change their existing model based on the goals that you're trying to achieve. And so what I'm going to do is just for a couple seconds, Gabby, why don't you tell them a little bit about you so that people who are not familiar with you get to know you, and then we'll get into the framework.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Welcome, everyone. And before we go into that, we would love to know, where are you from in the world?
Hmm.
Where are you from in the world? Drop that in the chat box. Sarah Morgan, you're from Wales. That's amazing. I'm from Toronto. We've got some other Torontonians here. Michelle from Toronto as well. What time, Sarah, is it in Wales? What time is it for you? It's 7 p.m. here in Toronto. And also, we know that some people are going to be watching this from different time zones or the replay. So hello and welcome to you as well if you're watching the replay video. Oh, Sarah, it's midnight and you were joining us today. Thank you very much. You'll
Awesome.
have beautiful, sweet dreams tonight. a little bit about myself, and then we're going to ask you a question. We're going to have an anonymous poll that we want to ask you, and then we're going to introduce you to a couple people that we know you'll want to hear from for sure. Jen and Natalie as well. We'll tell you a little bit about the program. We want to answer all of your questions. So at any time, put your questions in the chat box. We absolutely want to address them all. So my name is Gabby, and I am Hina's Chief Operations Officer. So I work very close with Hina and the team and our clients. And really, our goal is to help you achieve the life that you want through ease, joy, and fun. And so the reason why you're here is because we are a community of high achievers. Okay. Our clients are high achievers. So if you're looking to improve an area of your life, you're in the right spot, and we commend you. There's no obligation to join our program. There's all the opportunities to meet with Mario and I. In fact, we can stay on after the call today to do that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to launch a poll. And this poll, we just want to ask you one question, and your answers are anonymous. So you go ahead, you should see it on the screen now. What, pardon me, are in your life, I don't think that's worded properly, and I'm going to take fault for that typo. Where in your life would you like to make a significant change? Okay, so where would you like to make a significant change? If you can just vote on your screen, and pretty soon I will launch the results. All right, I see that almost everyone has voted. All right, wonderful. I'm going to give you 10 more seconds. Mario and I have a great relationship. You know, I really could ask him to do like a dance in these 10 seconds, but don't worry, Mario, I'm not going to put you on the spot.
No dancing
Although I
tonight.
want to. Oh, I want to so badly, but I won't put you on the spot. All right, all votes are in. I'm going to end the poll and share the results now. Here we go. Can you see them on your screen?
Yep.
Okay, so here we go. 80% of you would like to increase your finances and wealth. 20% would like to work on self-image, esteem, self-esteem, confidence. Okay, well, those are just some examples, and it's so interesting because we have clients that when they start with us, they actually, as part of their onboarding process, they get to meet with Hina in a small group, and Hina goes through their goals. Some people know their goals right away. Others require time, and there's no judgment at all. Hina and we will help you identify what your goals are and really help you get there through a really wonderful framework that we have called the Rise. So I'm going to pass it back to you, Mario, to share a little bit more about the Rise. But I thought first, and soon we can introduce some of our guests, real clients that are part of the program.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So there's a couple people that we're going to actually bring on board just to talk really briefly with you. And we chose these two individuals. I mean, our community, absolutely phenomenal. It's the best I've seen in 16 years in doing this work. Um, but we brought two individuals with us tonight. One has been with us, Natalie, for a while now, and she's got some great experiences and great results through the programs and just taking action herself, right? She's created some beautiful things. And then we got Jen, who's just joined us a month ago. Actually, I think today may be a month, Jen, the month mark, right? So, and she's got some great things that are happening with her too. So we want to kind of give you two perspectives, one that just joined the community, one that's been with the community for a while. So you kind of get two ideas. But before we get them on, and I want to talk to the framework for a few minutes with everybody. So Charmaine, if you can bring that up, and I'm not going to go through it in detail, but I want to give you an idea of what you can experience by going through the 6 months of what the Rise is all about, and the methodology behind why we created what we created. So if you can put that up for me, please, that would be awesome. Okay. So if you look at It's a 6 month program. So if some month number one is really for you to get acclimated to the community, for you to um, start getting into the habit of creating a daily routine, you taking responsibility based on what you told us. And the reason why you got into the program is because you wanted to create change. And you notice that on the poll, majority of the time it is because of finances. Let's face it, that's really for people, it's a lot of their number one reason of why they want to create change. The reason why is because it creates opportunities, right? It gives you the opportunity to really create a lifestyle that you want for yourself and your family, and for you to be and do a greater extension of who you are as an individual. So for month number one, and we'll get Jen's input, but it's really for you to get acclimated to the teachings, to the creating the daily routine of 6 a.m. if that's the time that you listen to the call, and through the repetition of that process, you're creating a new habit. And then month number two is really where you start to kind of plant the seed for your goal, and that's where what uh, Gabby, almost forgot your name. That what Gabby just spoke about, having that special call with Hina to really solidify that goal and get a clear idea, because everything that you're doing is going to be based around that goal. So the affirmations, the repetition, the goal writing, the planting into your subconscious mind, it's all going to be around that goal, and it's got to be a burning desire for you. And I'll work with you too as well, and Gabby, to really solidify what that goal is for you. And I kind of want to share it. Kind of reminded me of something really quick. We had a new client, Suma, who just joined. I believe it was on Monday. Today's Wednesday, and she said to me, I'm following the daily routine you sent. I love the attachments and the words, they're so powerful. But the big news is that I reached one of my goals today, and I have received an offer for a senior manager position at my company today. So things can happen in a millisecond. Your shifts can happen so instantly that it will absolutely blow your mind. And there's a lot of science behind it. So we're teaching you the process. It's 6 months again, because success leaves clues, and we're following you through that success process. So after you do that month number two, you've got your goal kind of written down. You're starting to really work on it. It's a burning desire for you. It's allowing you to live from that goal, and we'll teach you all about that. You start to plant the roots of that seed. Okay. And that through that repetition into your subconscious mind over and over and over again, you start to nurture it with the information that you're studying, with the repetition of listening to the information, from taking action and application of the information that you're being taught. Okay. And that's where you're coachable. But it's also with regards to community, the environment you're surrounding yourself with. Okay. This is a beautiful community. It's made up of a community of individuals who are committed, number one, to their own goals, but number two, to also to support within the community. Okay. There will be times where it's uncomfortable, and they'll get right behind you to just lift you up and bring you along. And there's many times where you're going to be doing the lifting up and bringing along too. So it's a very beautiful, supportive community. It's a safe community. Okay. And as the process goes along, month number four, you start to sprout. You start to see the flowers of that goal that you've planted, that you're working on. Month number five, you really start to see the flourishing of it. And you know what? To be honest with you, between month four and month five, you're going to start to see some of your goals become a reality. And then month number six is really where you start to harvest. So it's very methodical. We walk you through step by step by step. Okay. I'll be very, very honest and clear with you. It is not a babysitting service. You've got to do the work. You know, we as a team sat together last week, and we thought about who is our ideal client? What are the kind of people that we want to bring into this community? Because it's our responsibility as a company to make sure that the individuals that we're bringing into the community are ones that are coachable, that they're willing to get uncomfortable, that they're willing to be held accountable, that they're all in and they're committed to their growth. Because not alone does it impact their own energy and their own results, but it impacts everybody else within the community itself. Okay, so we're here to serve. you know, and through that process, whether it is a money goal, whether it is a health goal, whether it is a relationship goal, everything that we teach, everything that Hina is teaching you, you are connecting it directly to what your goal is. And it's an opportunity for you to ask questions. It is at 6 a.m. Eastern time, if that's the time you choose. We do have a Rise Up watch party at 9 o'clock in the morning for the Pacific people. But the truth of the matter is, you can listen to it at any time. You've got to do what resonates with you. We're doing it at 6 a.m. Monday to Friday because we're helping you create a habitual behavior. There's so many proven success research out there that successful people have actually a 5 a.m. wake up and they use the first hour just focusing on them. But it really is whatever works for you. But for us, it's 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Eastern time, Monday to Friday. And we're helping you create that habit. Okay. Videos are off. You can be anywhere where we have the call. And the big thing for me that I've seen a lot of is the participation within the call. It is not just where Hina is just talking from a book or from a document and teaching you. It's a live coaching call. She's answering questions, whether they're submitted prior to the call or whether they're submitted during the call, whether they're submitted as an anonymous question or somebody who's willing to lean in and have their name so she can communicate with them one-on-one as well while the call is going on. It's as if there's their own coaching call right then and there. But everybody benefits from the questions, trust me. Okay. And it's the ones that are afraid to ask the questions that benefit as well, because everybody a lot of the time have the same kind of ideas and same questions. So that kind of gives you an idea of what the Rise is all about. Gabby, I don't know if you want to add anything to that. Um, thoughts?
Yeah, thanks, Mary. You did an excellent job explaining it. Now, we really want to check in with everyone that's here now. Would you please write in the chat box, why are you here? Why have you joined this call? What allowed you to come here today? And hey, Sarah, for all those of you that don't know, I just sent Sarah a private message because I was like, I know the name Sarah Morgan. I know the name Sarah Morgan. And I realized you're like the Sarah Morgan. You actually you were in our community before and now you're back, Sarah. So it's great to see you again. Thank you. I'm glad you felt pulled. So thank you. So what is it? Why are you here today? Are you looking to increase in personal development? Are you looking for some coaching? Do you realize, yep, it's time. It's time. You've been called. What is it? Why are you here? Okay, because we recognize, this is your personal time, right? Why are you here? Feel free to write in the chat box. Okay, in a moment, we're going to invite Natalie up and then Jen. All right, we appreciate that you're here because I've been working with Hina for quite some time now, and I say this in all honesty. When we have our meetings, Hina is all about how she can help her clients. How can we help them? What can we send them? What do they need? How are they doing? Have we done this? Constantly looking out for her clients. She comes from a place of being very, very genuine. So thank you, Sarah, for sharing that you need some positive energy. I mean, that's one of the things that has been quite an accolade is the community. Our community is so strong. Like we have a private Facebook group, and it's nice to see everyone ask for advice. And it doesn't even just have to be about the material that they're learning. It's, can you refer this, or how do we do this, or I've been involved in this situation, how would you handle it? Like it's a really beautiful, beautiful community. Oh, Kim, thank you so much. Community is definitely one. And if you're looking for a community, I mean, I know I could sound biased, but this is like the best. And Hina always says she has the best clients because we really, really do. And Michelle, thank you for saying that you need to find your who's, right? And Hina always says, if you hang around 4 rich people, guess what? You'll be the 5th. because you're adapting their higher faculties, the way of thinking, their morning routines, all the things. So wonderful. Charmaine, could we please spotlight Natalie? I would love to introduce you to one of our clients. And Natalie, when you come up, would you be candid in saying, did you and I rehearse what we are about to talk about? Nothing, right?
No. I haven't.
All organic, right? I just invited Natalie to say, we would love for you to come. We would love for you to share a little bit about your journey, because then you can hear from someone who's been in our community. And then you'll also hear from Jen soon, who's been in our community for a shorter period of time, I think just about a month. So Natalie, would you please share with us, what has your journey been like in being with Hina Khan's community?
Well, I think I joined Hina in 21. And I was trying to write down a couple of things, like, because you'd said, I knew this was like talking about my journey, and I wanted to make sure I didn't forget anything because there's been so many things. So I joined the community in 21 because I'm a psychotherapist, and I always knew that I wanted to write, like I always knew that I wanted to create something in addition to my psychotherapy practice, because I knew I needed to create different streams of income, because I wanted to diversify, not just have like trade hour for dollar. And so when I joined, I really wanted to have a community, because I knew doing something like that, like creating another entrepreneurial stream, excuse my dog, but creating another entrepreneurial stream would be difficult. And without having a community behind me, like that has been a really big piece that's been important for me, I know. And so how I came to Hina was because I knew someone who had always been with a mastermind group, and she joined. It was Wendy.
Yeah,
Wendy
she
Buchanan.
does the glasses. Yep.
So she said, I'm with this new person, I'm with Hina, and I've like grown exponentially since my time with her. I was like, okay, well, I said, I'm gonna find out, and I joined a call, and then I joined. And what the experience has been for me is, one, to really understand myself and what gets in the way of being able to achieve the goal that I wanted for myself. And what I love about the morning calls is that there's a consistent, almost touchstone in my morning, every morning, that keeps me on track. So because, going from A to whatever, wherever you are, to your C-type goal, is your stuff will come in, will get kicked up. The things that are your fears, your doubts, all of that will get kicked up again and again and again. And that's what I've experienced. But having the morning to hear the examples that Hina is giving, or the examples or the questions that come in from the community, it's so weird. It's almost like, I'll get on a call and I'm dealing with something, and I may not necessarily contribute, but whatever she's talking about is exactly what I need to hear. Yeah. So I joined the community, and I wanted to create an online program. I have a program about that's called the Comfortable Race Conversation Process, where I teach people how to have conversations about race. So I joined that program. I started the process of creating that in an online I had already had like a beta version. I rebranded it. I created a corporation. I started to do some of the networking, follow the nudges, as Hina talks about. Next thing you know, I get a call from someone that says, would you like to join this focus group? I joined the focus group, and then it was then the next thing you know, my program was added to the 50-30 challenge for the 50-30 challenge with the government of Canada, which is a program that helps organizations create 50% diversity, gender diversity, and 30% BIPOC diversity. So like the program has really helped me, one, to solidify what is it that I want to do, figure out what is getting in the way, and really reach some of these goals that I never even thought was possible. And I've done so much more. Like, I mean, that was one of the first things. I've done the Amplify Your Voice program, where that's another goal, to become a keynote speaker, second place in that. I created another shorter version of my program. It's on the Udemy platform, which is a worldwide platform site. So I'm in the process of marketing that. And I don't know, there's so many other little things that where there's so many other places where there's like the serendipitous moments that have happened because I continue to hold, whatever my goal is, notice what I'm thinking, really be conscious of what I'm thinking, really be aware of what I'm feeling. And for me, this program has been wonderful because I'm a Gestalt therapist, which is very experiential. And this program has aligned beautifully with what I've learned. I'm going to be teaching at, I just did a workshop for OPSU and the Toronto Metropolitan University. I'm going to be teaching at the Center for Training for Psychotherapy. I'm going to be doing a couple weekends there. Like all of these things coming out of, and it's just been little step by step by step. And and it's been amazing.
Natalie, thank you for sharing your journey. When you started with us, a couple of years ago, did you think that you were going to have this much success in such a short period of time?
No. Well, no, not like this, not in this way. And it's and there's so much more to come. So I keep rejoining because I know that there is so much, I know having the community supports me. Sorry about that. Having the community supports me. And as I move through these, knock off these goals or achieve these steps along the way, I see myself changing. I can feel how I'm different.
Yeah. I've seen you transform in my own eyes. And I've shared that with you, that I remember when you started, and I remember and I see where you are now. I mean, it's so rewarding to see. So there's probably someone on this call that's thinking, I know that Hina's amazing. I would love to attend her coaching calls. I would love to be coached by Hina and be in this great community. But someone's probably thinking, I don't have the money. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I have the time. And maybe there's different things going through their mind. What advice do you have for that person that knows that this is right, but it's like they need that little incentive? What advice do you have for them?
If you have like a voice inside of you saying that this is what I need to do it. Do it, because your brain, your body, everything you will figure out what you need to do in order to make that payment, achieve that goal. Like it just happens, so yeah, I mean, the stars align, and I don't want to say it's just the stars align, but like you have to do the work too. So, but if that was me saying yes to that part in that little voice inside of me that said, this is what you need to do, I'm so glad that I listened.
I love that. Thank you. And before Natalie logs off, does anyone have any questions for Natalie? You can write them in the chat box, or you can raise your virtual hand. Natalie's been a prime example of someone who started with us and has gone through a wonderful journey. And if you have any questions, now's a great opportunity. Okay. Well, Natalie, we are so grateful for you in our community. We love how you have mini masterminds and you support the other clients, and how you've risen and how you share your voice and your talents. We're very grateful for you, and thank you for taking the time to join us tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I could go on and on. I mean, the people, like it's a great group. Really, really great. Anyway,
thank you, Natalie.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're right. Oh, thank you. Oh, actually, we do have a quick question, Natalie, before we unpin you. We've got a question from Sarah. If you can unmute yourself, Sarah, that would be amazing.
Sorry, guys. That was supposed to be a clapping hands reaction. I
Oh,
think I used the word emoji. I'm sorry. I was just saying thank you, Natalie, and kind of applauding.
Oh, thank you, Sarah.
Yeah,
thank you,
thank you for your
Sarah.
word.
It's great that you even have that energy at midnight, Sarah. Thank you so much. Love that. Thank you. All
I
right.
apologize.
It's
I am in my
contagious, right?
pajamas and in bed.
Yeah, love it. Thanks again, Natalie. What I would
Okay.
love to do at this time, if we can bring up Mario again and Jen Gouvier. I love
Hello,
saying her
hello.
name like, the fancy way. Jennifer, Jen Gouvier. Very good. I'll leave it up to you both now.
Awesome. Hey, Jen, how are you, my dear?
I'm good. I'm good. Good afternoon, good evening, I guess, depending on where you're at. You got people from around the world.
We do, we do. One of the beautiful things before we even get started that I love to see is I love to just watch where somebody starts and then physically see the change in them through the process. It's psychic income is what we call it, and it's just so rewarding. And when we first met, you and I, it was at the summit, the self-image summit, about a month ago, April 29th. And holding the image from our conversation of where you are now to the business that you're growing. Some of it I can't relate to because I'm a male, but I understand.
Yeah.
But just holding that image of what it is you want to create, and then holding you accountable to make sure you're executing along those lines, I think is really important. But before we get into that, just kind of along the same lines as Natalie, tell us a little bit about you. Why did you get involved with the Hina Khan community and the program itself? What is it that you were looking for?
So I'm a creator and founder of Huck. So it's a women's performance underwear. So we have a patent, and my long game is to eventually leave my day job to go there. And so I've built a lifestyle, and I have 2 kids, and they're in university. And I would say, so I've been building this business and kind of prided myself. I built this business with no debt. We've been able to do great things and travel. But I'm at the point where it's like, if I'm going to take this to $1 billion company, I have to step away from my day job. And it scares the shit out of me, quite frankly. And so I just need a community. I need people around me. So in my world, I work for a bank. And so people are very analytical. I would say I'm analytical. So I do need a different community around me of people who are entrepreneurs who have done what I'm trying to achieve. And quite frankly, I saw Hina at an event and I heard her speak, and it wasn't even an hour, I thought, I need to get in front of this woman. She is unbelievable. She did this exercise that was like, write down the top 50 things that you would write down. I forget what the exercise is called, but she had us do this exercise. Write down 50 things. If money wasn't a problem, what would you do? Or what would you buy? And I was like, I wrote down, and she timed it, and I'm just, just from memory. And I wrote down, 5 or 6 things. You're right. I want a home. My kids paid for my kids' education. We want to travel. We do a couple trips a year. And by the time I got to 6 things, I was like, I'm done. And I remember the time was still going on. Like, what the hell are these people writing? And so when she stopped and took up the exercise with the audience, it was the biggest aha I've ever had in my life, in terms of, she had the conversation about the lack mindset, right? Like, why would you not think about taking your family on a private jet to the beautiful location? And I realized I had some lack or scarcity mindset that I hadn't really been aware of. I thought I was actually pretty good at it. And so when I saw her in action, I know one of her greatest mentors is Bob Proctor, who I've studied for years and continue to listen to his recordings. And so for me, it was like, this is the community exactly where I need to be right now.
You know what's really interesting about that? So here you are, you've created success, whatever that means to you. And in some people's eyes, what you just explained would be like, oh my God, that's incredible what she's created. Yet you still had the scarcity and lack thinking.
I know, it's ridiculous,
That's
but I
crazy.
feel like, imagine if I dreamed even bigger.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's I think is one of the key of surrounding yourself with like-minded people, where it's very comfortable for us and them to stretch a little. And it doesn't sound crazy. It's got to be uncomfortable. It's got to be scary. But at the same time, it motivates you because we're holding a different image of where the possibilities and what they can do for you. So you didn't sign up right away when I asked you to. We had a
No.
conversation at lunchtime,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What held you back? Because a lot of people, this is going to be very common for them. What
Yeah.
held you back?
Oh gosh. So I would say probably number one was maybe the financial piece of it. I mean, I work in finance, but like I said, I'm also building a company. So, when I put in an order, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars and we're launching a new product. And so, I mean, it wasn't a giant amount to me, but I was concerned, would I get the return on investment? No, I've been sponsoring events. Like, how does this fit in? Like, I could do it, but am I going to get the return on investment? So that was one of the things. The other piece was I have a morning routine. When I show up at work, I want to make sure that I'm bringing my best self. So I do my journaling, do my meditation. I read every day. I listen to a podcast. So I already had this airtight routine. I get up at 5:30 before anyone else in the house. And I was like, I worried that I was going to maybe lose that. And yeah. And then the other piece is, was I going to get enough of the one-on-one? So this is like group, am I going to get, like, we're not showing up on camera, which I kind of like because, you want to have your game face on, and I wouldn't be ready at 5:30 in the morning. So I worried it, like, would I get that one-on-one time, to have, that support. And so those were some of my hesitations coming into it. And as I thought more about it, I just listened to my instinct. Like, I was like, this is the right crowd. I was so moved by that event. I was like, this is like nothing I'd ever attended. I go to these events all the time. And this community was like next level. And Hina and you and Gabby, just like how your authenticity on how much you want to help people succeed is palpable. And that's important to me. I didn't feel like it was just trying to sell me on a product. So I really could, as I thought it through, my analytical mind, it made sense.
See, and I can relate to that because I was in finance for 23 years. So that analytical mind it's going to be there constantly. There's going to be a lot of skeptics, and there may be some on the call today too. But what you just said, for a month, 30 days, like today is 30 days.
Yeah.
Okay. All those things you talked about, have those all been kind of taken care of?
All taken care of. Like, what's shocking, what I would say on these morning calls is that, so I said to not Gabby, maybe I told Gabby too, but I said to Hina, I told her what my goal was. Like, I have an exit date. Here's what I said it once. And the fact that on these morning calls, like, she knows everybody's goals. And like, we haven't had, that, and she just holds space for people. And, and Mario, you've been on the calls and you're reinforcing the messages she's sharing. And so I would say there's no question in my mind that I'm going to hit this goal with this community behind me. Like, it's unbelievable. This community, people have reached out on their own to say, hey, Jen, here's a PR company. So it's like, it's been unbelievable.
Yeah. And that's a point I think really, really stands out with this community, is that kind of support that you just said. People getting out of their own way of reaching out specifically to individuals, right?
Yeah.
And supporting each other. I mean, we have an event that people hold. I mean, half the community already fills up the spots. I mean, it's done like that. And you don't get that a lot, honestly. And this totally sounds like a sales thing. And I think I may have mentioned this to you before too. 16 years, this community is the best community that I have ever been involved in. And I have no problems whatsoever to put somebody in front of Hina.
Yeah.
Because I'm confident. See, there's two things we can't do for everybody, right? We can't make you coachable, and we can't create the desire within you. That is up to you.
Yeah.
Well, we can show you how to make it happen.
Totally.
Right? All right. One last thing. You got a little story about a Post-it note. You want to share that really quickly?
Yeah. So two things. So I will say, so I write down my goals. I'm very consistent about that. And I'll be like, this is crazy. Like, every goal that I've written down, I've achieved. But so I realized I need to take it up. I need to take it up a notch. But I had written about, I think it was just a year and a half ago, I had written this goal. I had goals all over my office, in my room. I write out goals and they're there, so I put them out there. And so one of my goals was I want to meet my mentor and greatest teacher that will show me, you know, how to take my business to the next level. And I put it out there, and I just kind of left it. And I was searching, like, okay, I got a new boss? Is it this person? No, we're not quite aligned. What about this person? And then yeah, and then Hina came into my life, and I was like, there's no question, she is the guide and the mentor that I need to help me, and her team, Gabby and Mario, to help me get to the next level. Like, I've never been more certain that it's going to happen. And so that was that. And one of my other goals that I wrote down was I wanted Trish Stratus. I don't know if you guys know her. She's a judge on Canada's Got Talent. And she was on the WWE wrestling, and she just amplifies to me strength, but also kindness. If you see her on the, you know, kindness, she's really good to people. And so she would be the perfect brand partner. So we're working on a brand deal with her.
Yes.
And so, like, that was one of the goals that I had written down to help us take our business to the next level. So yeah, so it's pretty cool.
That's phenomenal. We got to get you to think bigger. You're
Yeah.
not thinking big enough. Well, you know what? I think that's a perfect example of what it is that you would get yourself involved with. You know, Natalie, phenomenal in the results, beautiful energy. Jen, completely different energy, right? And I love the mix. I love the mix. So, Gabby, I'm going to hand it over to you. I know you got something planned now that we want to get it to that next piece. Thank you, Jen. That was phenomenal.
Yeah, thank you, Jen. That was really inspiring, Jen and Natalie. Thank you. We would love an opportunity soon to go into breakout rooms. We can split this group into two, and we can have conversations with a very small group, and you can share what your goals are. Why are you here? We can share more about the program. We can answer your questions one-on-one. Before we do that, we would like to have an open forum at this point. Do you have any questions? This is your opportunity. Raise your virtual hand, write it in the chat box. And as you do, I'll share a little story with you. When I met Hina, it was over 2 years ago. We had met on a project, and when I started with her organization, shortly after that, we were doing a photo shoot together. And full transparency, that was my first photo shoot, and there was a stylist. And in advance, she had asked us for our sizes. So I gave her my sizes, and that was it. I just had to trust the process that the clothes she was going to pick is exactly what was meant for me. And I kind of have like my own style. And doesn't she bring out leather pants and high heels? Now, if you know Gabby, I didn't wear leather pants and high heels. And I was like, are those for me? So here I was very grateful for the opportunity. But the reality is, I didn't want to seem ungrateful. But I didn't like it. I didn't like the pants, right? So I thought, okay, I'm going to try it on anyway, right? Because it's a photo shoot, and this is what the stylist picked for me. So I remember trying it on, and man, they were tight. They were tight. And I came out of the change room, and I thought, oh no, what's everyone going to think? And I had all these thoughts in my mind that I looked awful. And I remember feeling so insecure. My self-esteem was low. And all of a sudden, one person said, oh my gosh, Gabby, you look amazing. Gabby, look at you in leather pants. Gabby, look at you. And I was like, you're talking to me, And so anyway, long story short, I put on this fancy blouse, this jacket, and it was so interesting because I actually don't typically wear heels, but they had two people. And so as I was getting my photo taken with these leather pants, I had someone standing on the other side of me ready to catch me in case I fell from these like really high heels. But can I tell you something? In that whole process of getting my photo taken and all the compliments, I started to see something in me. I started to see my self-image. I started to see myself from the place of the goal. I started to see the potential of who I was really meant to be. And you know what? I felt like a badass. I did. I felt so good. And at the end, I learned something that day. Sometimes stylists, what they do is they bring the clothes, and sometimes they have deals with organizations to return the clothes after someone's worn them because they had tags on them. And so everyone left, and I was last with the stylist. And I said, "What are you going to do with this outfit after?" She said, "Oh, I'm going to return it. I'm going to bring it back to the store because that's the deal that we have with this retailer." And I said, "I would like to buy it from you." She said, "Really?" And I said, "Yep." So I bought the leather pants, but I didn't tell anybody. And so the next time we had an in-person event, guess who strutted in with leather pants and feeling all cool? And it was like, "What? You bought the pants?" And it was such a moment for me. So today I own 4 pairs of leather pants. I do wear them. I'm not feeling insecure because I was able to do a lot of inner work. Now I know this might sound like a funny story, but the reality is I had a mind shift. And when you have a mind shift, what happens is success follows. I became more confident in all areas of my life: wealth, health, finance, relationships. And so I wanted to share that story with you. All right, we have a question. I think we had a question. All right, so Sarah has has a question about the financial investment. Charmaine, if you can actually pin Mario and I together, and Mario, if you want to take this question.
Absolutely. So the investment for the 6 months is $7,800 US. Okay. If you work the numbers out, I think it works out to like $52 a call, something like that. Okay. But here's the truth about it's got nothing to do with the dollars. Absolutely nothing. It's got nothing to do with the money. It's got nothing to do with the time. It has everything to do with what do you want? Do you want it bad enough that you'll do whatever it takes to make it happen? Just like Natalie said, you follow your intuitive nudge. Okay. And we can help you with a plan if we need to help you with, but honestly, the money's got nothing to do with it. The first thing is that decision. I pulled a quote, and actually, it's the first time that I actually saw it written this way, and I study Napoleon Hill a lot. Okay. But he talks about decision, and he says, the person of decision cannot be stopped. The person of indecision cannot be started. Take your own choice. It's a start that stops most people. So is it an investment? 100% is an investment, right? Are you going to get the return on investment? Absolutely. But only if you do the work, if you actually apply. Shanice, you're here too, my dear. It's great to see you here. Okay. It's all about that burning desire. What do you really want? What would I love? And it starts with a decision. The only way that Hina can help you is by making that decision. And we're here to help you and serve you to do that. It's interesting as I'm hearing all these stories, I kind of bring myself back, Gabby, to when I first started 16 years ago. And I was not in great. And I'm being very transparent. I was $168,000 in debt. No job, young boys, my wife, and a mortgage. Okay. Today I live a pretty decent life compared to the way I see my lifestyle and the way I want to live it. Money's not an issue. Okay. But it's not by accident. I was in a lot of uncomfortable situations. Having a mentor of Bob Proctor, if you know him, you don't tell him what you want because he's going to stick you to it. Okay. And it was a very rewarding journey. It's about the growth. It's not about the goal. The money of it, the company and all that, that's going to be a result of you doing the work. It's all about who you need to become as you go through that process. That's the reward. And so, again, as Gabby said, we're going to break you out into great breakout rooms. Stay here, ask your questions. You're here for a reason. Follow that
Mhm,
intuition. Follow that thinking.
mhm.
Gabby?
I, s- I see a question here from Michelle. Is intake at any point you are ready, or are there different starting dates? You can start today and you'll be on the calls tomorrow. So you can start at any time. But here's the thing. We want you to start when you know you're ready for your change. Do you want to change? That's it. Do you want to improve health, wealth, finances? Hina does help people make their annual income, their monthly income. So do you want it? Okay. And like Mario said, it's not a babysitting service. You have to show up. You either come to the calls, you come to the replays, you can watch the replays. They're available for 30 days. You got to do the work. But if you do the work, the results come. And that's who we have in our community, because we are amongst high achievers. Okay. Now, if you're not able to stay in the breakout room, we would love it if you could even write the word rise in the chat box, because then what we can do is Mario and I can reach out to you, and then we can set up a meeting for us to meet. So we're going to break everyone into a breakout room soon, just like into 2 rooms. I'll take some and Mario will take some to answer your questions. But if you're not able to do that, then just write the word rise in the chat box, and then we will reach out to you and meet with you over the next couple of days. Actually, we could even drop our calendar link, couldn't we, Mario?
Yeah,
Yes, we
let's do it.
could.
Let's make it
We
easy.
can
Let's
do
make
that.
it easy.
Yeah, let's make it easy. Charmaine, when you have a moment, if you could drop that new calendar link for Mario or I, that would be amazing. And feel free to book an appointment with Mario. We can actually stay a little bit tonight or tomorrow over the next couple of days, definitely. Thank you, Charmaine. So you can go ahead and book a meeting if you would like like a one-on-one conversation. Otherwise, I think we're ready to go into breakout rooms and ask your questions, and no judgments. We're here to support everyone. So here we
Yeah,
go.
feel very comfortable. Like there commit to both
Yeah.
of us. There's no expectation. Okay. However, we're here to help you to where you want to get to. That's
Yeah,
the
for
goal of
sure.
what we're doing, but you have to be ready for it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So while Charmaine's getting the breakout room ready, I thought I'll have some fun. Do you want to see that picture of me in leather pants? I can do that.
Yep.
I can show you. Here we go. I'll show you that picture of me in leather pants. Here we go. This is what you call badass Gabby. Right here. That's me
Awesome.
in leather pants and heels, and I had someone standing on either side of me.
That looks amazing.
Yeah, thank you. All right, let's join our breakout rooms.
I told you I didn't know what I was doing technically. I kicked myself right out of the meeting. Thank you, Charmaine, for bringing me back in. So, Charmaine, are Gabby going to be bringing everyone back as well?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I can send her a message.
All right, why don't we do that? So, Kim, was this the first time that you were in our 3-day master class?
Yes.
Or were you at a previous one as well?
First time.
First time?
Mhm.
Yeah. And it's so true, you know, what you see is what you get. That's what I loved about, you know, joining the Hina organization is it's just real. There's no Hina in front of the community versus Hina behind the scenes. It's the same individual.
Yeah, I could feel that. And the level of connection and high touch, which is not what I'm used to experiencing either.
Yeah. And she's got the mind of a steel trap. I mean, she remembers things that I forgot like
Oh,
a
yeah.
long time ago. And she really remembers things. And I think that's one of her great qualities is she really takes to heart her clients and where they're at and how we can help them get to that next level. Shay, when did you do the TIR with her?
During the start of the pandemic.
Oh,
That's
just
for,
okay.
I think it was 2020. Yeah, I think it's 2020.
Well, that's four or 5 years ago at least then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I invite you if you want to stay on, great. If you don't, you know, it's 8:22 Eastern time. We're just going to wrap it up. And if you have any questions, again, please just reach out to me. I'm here to help you and support you the best way possible.
Thank you so
Okay.
much. Yeah, good
All
night.
right, my pleasure.
Thank you so much. Have a
Thank
good
you
night,
so
everyone.
much. All right,
Thank
have a
you.
great night.
Bye-bye.
Are they all gone? Oh, we can't hear you, Gabby. There you go.
Hello, hello.